Yep, 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 yep. Ring the bell. Ring the bell. Because it is crepe myrtle season. Ooh, 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 ooh. Oh, yeah. Don't you love plants? Look at that. Think about the people who take drugs. They take drugs so they can see this when they close their eyes. When this stuff's everywhere all the time. Every time of year, there's something beautiful blooming with insane flowers, insane color, that you don't need any narcotics to introduce into your body to appreciate. That's why there's no need for those things, people. When you got that, look at that. I mean, wow. Look at the color. Sun's not even on it. Look at the color. Okay, let's talk about the crepe myrtle. And why, you ask, they call it a crepe myrtle. Well, it's not that you can take the whole entire plant, put it in a blender, and expect to make crepes out of it. That's not why they call it a crepe myrtle. They call it a crepe myrtle because the actual petals of the flowers, well, they look a little bit like the shape of crepes. I don't make a lot of crepes, so I wouldn't know. But my daughter does, so we can consult her later. But this plant is just at its height. Like, I just made a video that Jacaranda owns June. Some kind of title like that. It really does. I mean, you look everywhere and there's purple everywhere. It's so beautiful. The more people that plant jacarandas all over the hills, the better. You look off in the distance, and down in San Diego, you don't see it here. They'll grow here, but people just don't know. I've got one right over. Where is it? It's way over yonder, over there. It's a dwarf jacaranda. But no, let's not get off the point here. June is owned by jacaranda, at least in Southern California. Here in Northern California, people just, they don't even know about jacaranda. So I'm trying to get the word out on all this stuff. But everybody knows about the crepe myrtle in Northern California. It's a little more cold hardy. It's a wonderful tree. It's well behaved. It's deciduous in winter, which can work to your advantage if you like sunshine shining through when it's cold, to your disadvantage if you are sad because there's no green, which I'm part of the latter group. But there's so many wonderful things. This is one of these plants I'm willing to forgive the fact that it's deciduous in the winter, because there's so many wonderful qualities about it. It's native to the Asian subcontinent, India, China, even Australia, Oceania, if you know where that is. Some good surf down there in Oceania. But it's sort of a subtropical species. And this one here, the most of the ones you'll see in cultivation are Lagerstromia indica, right? Okay. There's all kinds of cultivars. There's dwarf varieties, there's white varieties, there's red varieties, there's pink, there's purple, there's no blue. There's no blue. Sorry, there's no blue. There's no orange. What else? There's no yellow. But there's all the other colors. And I don't know. I'm not really into yellow and orange so much. I really like the kind of like the more feminine colors. I don't know why, because I'm really not that feminine. But I do have a soft feminine side. It's just that it's buried really deep. You hardly ever see it. Anyway, I don't publicize it. But what else is wonderful about this plant? It's the bark. The bark is this beautiful, mottled, peely, gray, super gorgeous. In this case, we have a multi-trunk. In fact, look at it. It even blooms on the interior of the plant in deep shade. It's so beautiful. Such a beautiful plant. It's a medium-sized tree. It can get to 100 feet tall, believe it or not, in its native habitat. I've seen them 30, 40 feet tall in California after like maybe 50, 60 years in a garden. But you know what? Those trees are still going. Maybe they're not 100 feet tall because they haven't been here for 300 years. I don't know the lifespan of this tree, but I suppose it's pretty long, because the ones that I know about that are 67 years old, they don't show any signs of lack of vigor. They look like they're going to keep going, just like the ever-ready bunny. So now this garden here was completely designed based upon two crepe myrtles. this one here, right here, and the other one over yonder. Let's go look at that one. So I moved in here, a gentleman by the name of Richard Larkey, legendary Richard Larkey. Everybody knew him. He was a doctor, and he took house calls. He literally would go to your house, like the good old days. It's 2024 right now. He just passed away, just this year. Very sad. He was my buddy. I kept in touch with him for many, many years. Visited him, and he planted all these oranges over here, and his wife, Joanne, was a avid horticulturalist, and she probably had a hand in this crepe myrtle here and planting it. But look at the bark. Are you kidding me? Look at the bark. Look how beautiful that is. It doesn't get any prettier, people. That's what I'm saying. So like, that's why I put up deciduous tree. Like, look at the bark's beautiful, perfect size, well behaved. When it loses its leaves, they're not very big, so they just kind of get mulched away. They don't create too much mess. The only mess they do create is this beautiful confetti-like purple ground cover. This is probably my favorite color. So I was so lucky to come here, and they had planted these trees for me years ahead, my favorite color. And once I saw these trees here, I was like, you know what? I'm going to base my whole entire landscape design off of these two trees. I can't even remember what was here. There was really nothing, but we had a crepe myrtle over there, one over here. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to create the big, beautiful patio underneath, in between these trees. Use those as the markers. We have my daughter's wedding here. We have lots of fun times in here. Put this big table in. But these two trees are the keystone of this whole entire concept. And I didn't even put them here. I was just lucky enough to inherit them. But look at all of this beautiful color in here. It's a little dark, so you can't really appreciate the light coming in. That would really light these things up. But what else to say about crepe myrtle? So this is, like I said, Lagerstromia indica. There's a bigger species, a real big one. It's a little more tropical. It's called Lagerstromia speciosa for species. And I really don't know that plant. I've heard of it. I need to go see it in person, and I need someone to point it out to me and tell me, this is it. But I have a feeling it has bigger leaves. The leaves are more shiny and tropical looking. It's still deciduous, I believe. And I know it gets bigger, more vigorous, but that's all I know. Supposedly it grows in Southern California. I really need to go check it out somewhere, maybe the LA Arboretum or something. But yeah, if you want a wonderful tree, this is a fantastic thing, well behaved. And this one owns July, maybe into August. This is the absolute beautiful height of summer plant. And we generally don't sell this plant. Isn't that funny? I spend so much time telling you about plants I don't even sell. But I could probably special order it, no problem. So if you really need it, come hang out with us. And, we don't have a bell at the nursery, but if we did, you would ring it and say, Gary, come over here and give me a